The following is a presentation of TFNN. Trade what you see with Larry Pesavento. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648 or internationally at 727-445-1044. Now, Larry Pesavento.
Okay, looking good, Billy Ray, feeling good, Lewis. Well, today is the day, 6/6/16, when we go over the watch phenomenon. I've posted into the Tiger Den a picture of a watch, happens to be a Rolex, and as you'll see, it's set at the time of 10:10. Now, we're going to try to show you, and it was the way it was explained to me, and believe me, folks, this is for your entertainment purposes only. I don't know if it means anything. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't, but at least the mathematics and the geometry behind it, are very, very interesting. So we'll walk through it one step at a time. So you got to pay attention here because there's going to be a test at the end, and we'll see. Well, that's not true. Anyway, let's just look here and see what the next thing we want to look at. I'm going to post a picture of, here we go. These are, let me blow this up a little bit so we can see it a little bit better. There we go. Now these are, pay attention. I know those that you're listening and you don't see this, you can go and listen to this archive, but you'll notice that you'll have a Seiko watch in the middle, and then you have another one. I don't know what the brand name is on the bottom. There are three different brand name watches, as you can see there, but there's something different about one of the watches. Can anybody tell me what that is? And can anybody tell me what that is? What it is it's off by 1 minute. It doesn't say 10:10, does it? It says 10:09. Very interesting. Now let's just see what this means and where it comes from. Now this is something that I really have an interest in this because it was explained to me, something really unbelievable. Because most watches, 80% of the watches that you're going to see are going to be emphasized that the time comes in at 10:10. Now, I want to try to explain to you how it's explained to me. It goes back to the pyramids, and they're going to start out with the Freemason stuff that comes basically pyramid type stuff. We'll put this up here to show you. I'm going to get to the geometry first, and then we'll go into this. Won't take very long, but it's very interesting. This is the Freemason symbol. As you can see, the G in the middle is for geometry. On the right, you see the 32nd degrees as you go up. It has the all-seeing eye at the very top, and that's also very important. But these are all geometric things, and they are based on the angles of these particular dime. You see the T-square in the middle, and then you see the compass that has both sides of it. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take this, and we're going to turn it upside down, and then you will get the reason why these watches are all set at 10:10 is because it's a squaring of the geometry of a circle. In other words, if you can square a circle by using this diagram, and the top of that diagram, you see that little arc at the top? That's that 1.18 expansion. The angles that you're looking at here, 51 degrees, these are the exact same angles that are in the pyramid to the exact point. And it's a really interesting thing to look at. But I'm going to try to show you some of this. I'm going to keep it real simple because the way it was, it just took an hour and a half, folks. I'm cutting it down to 10 minutes. But the mathematics and the mystery behind it is what was very, very interesting. So the next thing we want to look at is where these, we were looking at the price of 10:10 and everything, but some of these watches now have switched over and are now going to 10:09. Now, where did that come from? Well, we have to go up to a little town just north of San Francisco, California. Let's try it again. It's south of San Francisco, and it happens to be one of the wildest held stocks in the world. And look at the watch that they advertise for Apple. It's at 10:09, not 10:10. Very interesting, isn't it? Now, I don't know if it means anything or not, but start watching that. Edgar Cayce said that the pyramids were a library in stone. So that may be or may not be true, but boy, if you listen to that video that I sent out, that YouTube thing, boy, you have to pay attention to that because it goes way beyond the main thing. Okay, the final thing I wanted to do is to show you the U.S. dollar and how it relates to the Freemasons, because 15 of the 55 people that founded our country, including George Washington, Benjamin Franklin, Thomas Jefferson, John Adams. All these dudes were Freemasons. And we're going to take a look here at the U.S. dollar. If you'll notice here, it's written in Latin. Annat conceptus means announcing conception. You see novus ordo means secular new order. E pluribus unum means one of many. You'll see 13 all through the dollar bill. 13 bricklayers, 13 colonies, 72 bricks, 13 arrows, 13 berries. And it's just really an amazing thing to look at. You see the all-seeing eye on top of the pyramid, which is the pyramid capstone that was supposedly never found, and all the other things. But it's all related to mathematics and geometry and stuff like that. So that's basically it. The reason why the watches are at 1010 on about 90% of all watches, cheaper watches, you won't see in their advertisements. They don't seem to care about it. But the major watches all have that 1010, but now they're moving to 1009. And that in itself may or may not be anything. I'll leave that up, the people that read history, but that's the main thing. Anyway, that's what we're watching. All right, let's switch over to patterns. Folks, we got one of the most incredible patterns I've seen in a long time. Let me bring this little puppy up here and look at it. It was brought to my attention by my dear wife. But the main thing is you'll see this is the New York Stock Exchange Daily Index. You'll see we topped on May 19th of last year. We bottomed down on February 8th. Both of those were new moons. What do we have today? We have a new moon. And also we are looking at a potential of some really interesting things happening here. Look at the low that we made on August 24th to the high we made back on November the 2nd. It was 51 trading days to the upside. Look at the low that we made on February the 10th to the high that we made back on April the 19th. 51 days to the upside. Look at the inside the red boxes there, how the market rallied up to a 78% retracement over a 10-day period. Look what the market has done, rallied up to a 78% retracement over a 10-day period. If you don't believe in pattern recognition, don't look at this chart because this thing has really got some interesting patterns. Now, if we get really strong today and the Dow's up like 150 or something, then this whole thing may not be working. But so far, it's been, that's really it. So let's. We'll just 1 second. I'm just booking a guest on Wednesday. We're going to have our good friend Bill Meridian from Vienna, Austria, is going to be on Monday. We're going to have Rich Anderson on at the half hour to discuss the grain market, and then tomorrow we're going to have Bill Koval out of Scottsdale, Arizona, to discuss the regular market. 877-927-6648.
TFNN is excited to offer a brand new piece of market scanning software unlike anything the industry has ever seen. John Logan and his team have spent years developing their market profile tools to finally be able to release the TAS Profile Scanner Plus. And right now you can get a 2-week trial absolutely free just by visiting TFNN.com and providing us your name and email address. The TAS Profile Scanner Plus is the premier market profile based scanner in the industry, powered by the acclaimed TAS proprietary algorithms, this feature-rich scanner is a standalone desktop software that instantly filters over 2,500 global financial markets such as stocks, ETFs, commodity futures, and Forex. Within 3 minutes of signing up, you can have the software downloaded and running on your computer with a complete roadmap of market indicators and inflection points to trade off using the TAS Profile Scanner Plus. Sign up today and try this amazing piece of software by visiting TFNN.com.
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen live during those shows, and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com.
The Path of Least Resistance is David White's daily trading newsletter, and if you're looking for active trading ideas, then now's a perfect time for a 30-day free trial to this powerful daily trading advisory service. David uses his years of trading experience to offer his subscribers his trading ideas each morning in his Path of Least Resistance newsletter. Using a combination of equity trades along with options, David keeps his subscribers up to date with all pertinent market information with intraday afternoon updates when warranted. Don't miss out on this great chance to get a 30-day free trial to David's daily newsletter, The Path of Least Resistance, with no obligation to pay anything. David has been delivering solid recommendations for his subscribers recently, and if you'd like to see the type of newsletter he delivers every morning, then visit the front page of TFNN and you'll find the Path of Least Resistance under Trading Newsletters. For all the details and to start your 30-day free trial today, log on to TFNN.com now.
Tiger TV is an exciting way to experience TFNN programming. See high-definition video, giving you crystal clear charts, as well as seeing some of the faces of TFNN's highly acclaimed financial experts with crisp, full-fidelity sound. Catch Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Larry Pesavento, Think or Swim, David White, Andy Hecht, and Daryl Martin in crystal clear, high-definition audio and video. Tiger TV, exclusively at TFNN.com. Larry takes your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
Okay, we're back, folks, and we are going to take a look now at the Dow Jones. We looked at the New York Stock Exchange Index patterns that had a really interesting symmetrical pattern. We're seeing pretty much the same thing here in the Dow Jones Industrials. You can see the larger ABCD structure, and inside those structures you'll see at point B and point D, we have these ABCD patterns that have completed, and they're very, very symmetrical. If you were to overlay one on the other there, I think it'd be about a 99% correlation. So the patterns are certainly there. You just have to be able to try to look at them and see if they're okay. Someone's asked the question of whether I used trading days or calendar days. I actually use trading days. Calendar days are okay because people really never stop thinking about their positions over the weekend. It's just that the ratio will be there. The days might be a little different, but I've been using trading days, ever since I started doing this. So I'm certainly probably not going to change now unless someone tells me that I have to do it either way. But you come up with the same ratios. It'd just be the days will be off by a little bit. So we have a lot of that, going on in here. The key level to watch now is if we get above, 18,000 in the Dow, which is not very far away. It's only 200 points away. That would tell us that this particular pattern is most probably failing, and we could be going up, to the next level, which would be easy enough to see. That wouldn't be very hard. That's what's happening. So that's it. Someone's asked a question about the Freemasons and stuff like that. Folks, all this is just for entertainment purposes. It was shown to me, to give me a pretty good idea of, what some of this geometry is, and it's been around for a very long time. But it, in reality, is that pyramid could be a giant calendar. And you see some spots in there where it's just absolutely unbelievable how these things line up. And so, we'll wait and see if that's going on. Okay, we're going to have Rich on in about 10 minutes. We got to discuss the grain markets because we're at some pretty serious spots. We've had a question here about the Bradley model, and I'm going to bring it up to let you folks look at it. What I've done is I've basically inverted the model. Usually it's a blue line. I've inverted it to the green line just to show you that we are over a real key date here that came in on the 1st. We have another one today on the 6th that was brought out today by our good friend Norm Winsky from Astro Trend. So this is going to be another interesting day, and they're always interesting, but because we have this Astro date with the new moon in itself is certainly interesting to look at, but we have some other things that make it look really interesting. But the Bradley is a key date. In fact, this is the last really key date until we get after the July 4th weekend. Around the 10th of July, we have another key date and then some others. But if the market's going to go down, and if the market's going to go down, then it would start sometime this week, I would assume, and then head down into the area of September, October, where we think we're going to be looking at a pretty good spot for a pretty good bottom, in the stock market. So we'll see. But that's not where the real action, folks. The real action's today with Fat Finger Janet out there with her, buying perpetual buying programs. She'll be talking about, things that look interesting in the markets. And, the bonds have held up incredibly well. If you'll notice here, this is, what did I have the wrong chart? That doesn't take it very long, does it? Just a second here. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. Oh, I'm saying oh, dear, because what's happened is all of my icons on my desktop are now old icons. What happened to all my new ones? Shut the front door and raise the rent. Oh, dear. You got to love these computers. That's why I don't use cloud or any of these other things. That's just not the way to go. Oh, brother. Okay, let's take a look at the gold market because we finally had a heck of a rally here in the gold market and silver. Whether this is the major bottom yet or not, I'm not sure because this is just our first really good correction. We got up to 1250, which is right at the 786 retracement of this move. You'll notice after we bottomed on the 29th and 30th of May, the market went sideways for 3 days. It pulled back one more time to an exact 61% retracement at that 1208 level. And then from there went straight up $40 with the jobs report, not Federal Reserve, but the jobs report that came in, and evidently it was the worst jobs report in 6 years. And next week they will come out, or the next month they will come out and correct it as they usually do, and we'll see what's going on. Okay, Duffy, you asked the question, why is the Apple Watch promotional to 10:09? I don't know, but that's when they started changing. As soon as they brought out the Apple Watch at 10:09, other major watchmakers. Now you got to remember, these guys are all independent. They don't not all the watches are made by the same people. So they use different advertising. They have different countries. Switzerland, Germany is a big manufacturer. Japan, they're huge. So is China. And yet, when Apple came out with 10:09, some of these people have raised their thing to 10:09. I don't know what it means. It's just very interesting that that's the way it happened. So who knows? Anyway, that's what we're looking at. I brought that to your attention because it has to do with the geometry and the pyramids. And if you haven't seen that YouTube that I sent on the revelation of the pyramids, you really should watch it, especially the last 45 minutes, because it shows the amazing geometry that is on our planet and how perfect it actually is. It's really quite spectacular. The question that we had from one of our listeners is about the oil market. We are looking at a crude oil market that should be topping in here. Folks, this is I'm sorry, but this thing is a week late. I don't know where all my icons are. I have this thing, and I'm not kidding you, half hour ago, as I was preparing the show, I was looking at these darn things, and now they've disappeared, and I've got them here from a couple of weeks ago. You got to love computers. I just think it's wonderful. Let's take a quick look here at the bond market, because we'll start with the notes. Bonds and notes are the same thing. You'll notice here that we've had this really nice pennant that's been going on, or flag, whatever you want to call it, in the notes. We took those out by just a little bit on Friday. We haven't really gone anywhere. The notes hit the 131 level. The bonds hit 167. Nothing really happened, and I'm sure Miss Yellen is going to give some type of a boost today to some of these things, but we have some pretty strong support in the bonds at the 166 level. Yes, thank you for, I don't know if that's the one I sent out, Duffy, but it certainly is really, anyway. Jim, I don't know if it's a marketing gimmick or not, because not enough people have paid any attention to that. It's like, to hide something in plain sight, because I saw it lots of times before it ever dawned on me that it is, something that, makes a great deal of sense or not. We're going to have Rich on in just a little bit here to talk about the grains. But we've got some real interesting things in the grains with this new moon today, folks. 877-927-6648.
Larry Pesavento has just started his brand new service, Fibonacci 24/7, and he's already delivering content to his subscribers on a daily basis when the market's opened and even on weekends. Each Monday, you'll receive Larry's written report that provides detailed commentary and a summary on the charts and videos that Larry sends out. And throughout the week, when warranted, Larry will send out via charts or videos or both the key markets that he is watching during the day. This will be up-to-the-date, active trading information that will help you in your daily trading. In Larry's first week alone, he sent out 25 charts, 6 videos, and a full report to his subscribers in just 1 week. If you're a technical trader that uses patterns and retracements to trade, then Larry's service Fibonacci 24/7 is something that you must try. Right now, new subscribers can get a full 30-day money-back guarantee. With nothing to risk, sign up now to Larry Pesavento's Fibonacci 24/7 by visiting the front page of TFNN.com under Trading Newsletters. In quiet markets, investors search for new trading opportunities. We'd like to introduce you to a new product that provides opportunities even in flat markets. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a new and innovative Chicago-based exchange registered with the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their trading platform. Nadex never charges a fee to use their platform, which even includes real-time charts and full customization capability. Nadex's unique short-term binary options allow traders and investors to capitalize on strategies even when the underlying markets are quiet. Nadex's innovation has allowed them to come up with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com, or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
Platinum, grains, crude oil, gold, copper, cattle, hogs, gasoline, natural gas, coffee, cotton, cocoa, and sugar. These are just some of the commodities mentioned in the most recent issue of Andy Hecht's Techno-Mental Commodity Report. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Techno-Mental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you will lock in the low rate of only $79 a month. Sign up right now for the Techno-Mental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Okay, we're back, folks, and I believe we have our good friend Rich Anderson from Anderson Capital Management on the line. Rich, are you there?
You bet, Larry. How you doing?
Pretty good, pal. Why don't we just go ahead and talk about the gold and silver to start off with, and then we'll move into the growing stuff first. What are you seeing? Anything that should have our interest in gold and silver?
Well,
First, we have Yellen. We have Yellen today, so that'll be interesting.
Gold and silver got whacked pretty good, and the key feature I see is that the dollar, at 90, 93 and a half, 94. It's had a pretty big break from the highs a couple of weeks ago at 90, 95, 96. And I think that's going to help out all the commodities, not just gold and silver. Yellen, you're right, does talk at 11:30 today to World Council of Affairs. That may have some impact, but I'm looking for the silver to bounce back towards probably 17 cents and $17 an ounce, and the gold. I think the silver it's got a catch-up game that eventually is going to do. Gold will probably go back in that 1275, 1280 level. All these charts, if you look at them, you step back and look at weekly and monthly charts. I mean, we're getting to places where we're either popping out of, or where if they do pop out of, it'll be a whole different story. The Yellen isn't likely to do anything in June because of the British vote on whether or not they're going to exit. And she's already behind the curve, and eventually that's going to light up inflation. Gasoline prices every place in the country are above $2 now, all 50 states, which is still relatively cheap, but things are going back up.
We have a question from one of our listeners from New Jersey about sugar. Do you follow the sugar market? I posted the chart for October sugar in here, and it has a lot of interesting patterns going on. Do you follow it very much, Rich, or not? I
just follow it out of the corner of my eye. The sugar down in Brazil, that's ethanol. That's how they produce their ethanol. We use corn, they use sugar. I think this has been and will probably continue to be the year for sugar. It has, as I see it, potential. It's been a bear market forever, and since February, it's been going straight up. It's on its third leg, and it'll probably have a 5-leg move. And 20 cents is not unreasonably high. One of the interesting things about sugar, just off the cuff, is that the millennials particularly, are all into GMO, right? Well, up in the valley, in the North Dakota, Minnesota Valley, where all the sugar beets are grown, it's almost impossible to get seeds that are GMO seeds. So, at some point there's going to be some major change. And then like down in Venezuela, Coke had to stop producing Coke because they couldn't get sugar. So there's some issues around the world.
Wow. Why is the GMO seeds are hard to get? I mean,
well, because it's cross-pollination. When Monsanto came out with the very first corn that was genetically modified, if my field was within 2 miles of your field and there's a strong wind, the cross-pollination would make my corn, when we harvested, GMO corn too.
Wow.
And so, it's hard to find seed that's non-GMO. And the millennials are a big deal on that, and Europeans are, and so I think that's part of what's causing the problem.
We had a question about soybean meal, and I put up a chart, a weekly chart going back the last 5 years in meal, and we're now approaching the. In fact, we hit it on Friday. Was or claim close to it, a little bit higher today. We'll do it, but that area around 430 in the meal is a 61% retracement off the high 2 years ago. Any feeling on the what's going on here in meal, oil, and beans, Rich? Because they've been pretty strong this past couple of weeks.
Well, the world was short. Okay, all the not just the futures market, but the cash grain traders were short, expecting to be able to buy their meal for $250 a ton, and then all of a sudden, you had the rain problems in Brazil and Argentina, and all of a sudden their crop sizes started to go down, and are continuing to go down. I mean, there's some question about where they're at right now, and that just lit a fire, and this thing's gone straight up. And when markets go straight up, they often end pretty quickly too. There's a WASDE report on Friday. That's a world agricultural supply and demand estimates. I expect that we'll probably see some of the boys even up some of their positions Wednesday, Thursday in front of that report. And then the big number are the acreage reports on June 30th, which is the amount of corn and soybean acres that are planted this year. That'll be the first estimate from the government. Tonight we get the first estimate on the good to excellent rating for both corn and beans, and the crops look fantastic. My stuff in South Dakota has never looked as good as it does right now, and that's it's pretty impressive. But we're looking at, that's what you look at each Monday afternoon, the good to excellent in corn and beans and wheat. Wheat's in that 62 to 63, which is excellent for wheat. The corn and beans will likely be in the 72 to 73 range, give or take a point or two, and those are awesome numbers. The guys are looking at some heat that's coming in this week, but it's just normal wheat. There's no high pressure ridges that are blocking things, and actually the European model projects that it'll start to cool off and we'll get rain next week. Towards the end of next week we'll start to cool off and get pretty good rain. So the guys that want to be bulled up about La Nina, the Pacific Ocean temperatures have changed in some spots, but not a lot. Actually, there's some change in the temperatures going on in the Atlantic that's kind of interesting also. So
yeah, Rich, you remember back in 1988, we were in that weather market in beans. They were going up, and you had these fellows out in the fields. We didn't have cell phones back then, but they would call in by payphone, telling him what each particular segments of crops were doing in Iowa and Illinois and Indiana. Well, that was really an amazing thing to see how the markets react when the slightest bit of weather will move the market 40 or 50 cents in a matter of a heartbeat. That still happens, I guess, even with electronic trading.
Oh, absolutely. And in the old days, like you said, these professional traders in Chicago would go out every weekend and drive a certain route. And they do that for 25 years, and you get a real feel. Mm-hmm. Nowadays, we have satellite imagery, and it's instantaneous. It's just a lot quicker, faster game. And even though we don't have good reporting down in South America, satellites, the imagery, the heat signature of the crops, and the amount of moisture that's there, the satellites can read that, and so they have pretty good estimates.
Well, it's amazing that they can read a warning sign on a package of cigarettes from 30,000. 8 miles high off of the satellite dish. So they should be able to tell us what a crop is going to look like. If they can certainly do that, I would think. That's for sure. What about the wheat market? We're in an area where the weather shouldn't be affecting wheat too much. Is that correct?
Absolutely. The wheat crop around the world, apparently there's been some moisture in Europe that may have affected the quality in the wheat. But we've got so much wheat, it's unbelievable. And that's eventually going to be a drag on corn because they'll feed wheat and corn Southwest.
Hey, stay with us. We've got to pay a few bills, and we'll be right back. Okay, Rich?
I'll be here. You bet.
Thank you.
Today, it's hard to tell if the economy is coming or going. Regardless, I want my money going in the direction I choose. If that's your stance as well, then you want to know how Everbank can help keep your money thriving just the way you want. Is growing your money a priority? Everbank is committed to a yield pledge promise to pay high yields on your checking, money market, and CD balances. Looking to diversify? Everbank ingeniously developed accessible ways to spread your money around the world into foreign currencies and even non-FDIC insured metals. And when it comes to your wealth, they bring a highly experienced and global perspective to help you manage it. Everbank's financial philosophy flies in the face of the status quo. They believe your money's performance should not be determined by today's economic circumstances, but by the drive to rise above them and create opportunities that favor your objectives. If that excites you like it does me, visit everbank.com/TFNN to find out what they can do for you. Again, that's everbank.com/TFNN. Visit them today. Everbank is a member FDIC and equal housing lender.
It's 2016 and TFNN has a brand new programming lineup to kick things off. Starting January 4th, swim lessons by Thinkorswim and TD Ameritrade will be airing 5 days a week at noon Eastern Time. Join hosts Scott Connor, Kevin Hinks, and Cindy Faber as they host their daily options program live at noon 5 days a week with no commercials for the entire hour. Nico DeHaan and Paige Clark will be moving their program, Living a Primal Lifestyle, to twice a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays from 7 a.m. until 8 a.m. Eastern Time. Wake up with Nico and Paige and start your day off right. The Bull Bear Binary Option Hour by Nadex will now be live Mondays and Fridays at 10 a.m. Start and end the week with the three hosts, Tom O'Brien, Tommy O'Brien, and Daryl Martin, as they break down the world of trading binary options and spreads. For all the details on the new 2016 programming lineup, visit the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors. Biotech is booming, but for how long? Whether you think the biotech bull has room to run or has run its course, trade LABU or LABD. Direction's daily S&P Biotech 3 times bull and bear ETFs. Visit directioninvestments.com/biotech today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
The Bull Bear Binary Option Hour, sponsored by Nadex. Up next on TFNN.
Okay, Rich Anderson is on our line here with Anderson Capital Management. We've been talking about the grains. We went through meal and oil. Rich, I've been noticing that the July-November soybean spread went absolutely wacko on Friday. We had a 45-cent break in July beans from the high. Do you think that spread has pretty much run its course, or what's your feeling on that?
Well, the spread originally took off on April 20th when it went from 1 3/4 cents under to 23 3/4 that day. You know, but it got up to, I think that was a blow off top at 76 1/4, and we're actually 42 1/2 right now, which is slightly lower for the day. And that's going to be my big indicator of, I watch the spreads to give me an indication of how strong the trend is, and when the spreads start to weaken, that tells me, maybe we're up at levels where the guys are going to start taking money off the board, and then that often turns into, major corrections.
That's one of the most important spreads in all of the soybean complex. You want to tell the folks what that really means? Old crop, new crop, July versus November, and why the people watch it so closely?
Well, the July beans, that's the last beans that I'm going to need to buy to crush in my crushing plant, so I'll have oil and meal available until I get the new crop. There's some, you'll need some August, but really they get them booked in July. And so on the floor, July is the lead option, and once the lead option moves to November, it doesn't go from July to August to September. It kind of goes from July all the way to new crop, and then the whole world changes. But like I said, that two or three times ago when I was on, right after, around April 20th, and I said that the Chinese had bought 20 cargoes of beans in South America and 9 out of the U.S. That showed that the cash market was short, and that's why the July had to gain on the November. November, there's always a chance that things can grow and grow like crazy.
Like they did last year. Yes, we had a huge
But now
crop.
we're starting to talk about, farming is different today. If I don't get my crop in by the insurance date, then I don't plant it, because I'll just take a prevent plant check from the government. And we're getting close to that in the soybeans. The corn's pretty much in, but we're getting close to that in the beans. And while 2 weeks ago we were looking for maybe a 1.5 million to 2 million acre increase in the planting of soybeans, that seems to be taken off the table at this point, that there isn't likely to be that kind of an increase.
But farmers, they don't want to be paid for not planting. I mean, that feels like it's a waste, doesn't it? I mean, what percentage of farmers do that, Rich?
Well, it depends on what the insurance rate is, and actually the insurance rate is relatively low right now. But still, the amount of money that you have to put into the soil and not having the insurance on, they become businessmen, and they prefer to have some protection. And so I'd say it's more than half.
Have you ever done it, Rich, for your farm?
There have been times when we've had fields that we just couldn't get into. I know people that have milked the system 3-4 years ago like crazy when the insurance prices were high. But sometimes you just can't get in. It's just too wet. And if you plant in the mud, you get a dud for a crop. I mean, that's what they always said, and that's kind of true. My grandpa used to say, you plant in the dust, and your bends will bust. There'll be a good crop.
Yeah. What about the cattle market, Rich? We've been looking at that 110, 112 level in October. Cattle held pretty good. What's your feeling now?
It looks to me like if the August cattle today, they're 119.10. If they can close up here around 119, I think they've got 122 as their target. The June cattle, are paying attention to the cash market, but the cash market moves $3 to $5 a week. And when the bears get a hold of it, they're trading what June cattle are likely to be at the very end of June. And delivery allows for the first couple of days of July. So, looking at cash cattle trading at 130 doesn't mean we're going up there. Cash is going to come back down, but I think we can go up $2-3. And so I'm looking for August cattle. I'm kind of aiming for 122 myself. I mean, that's my bias.
Okay. What effect do you think? Well, we know that Yellen's effect will have a lot of effect today, but any feeling on what do you think is going to happen with what she'll say today and how it will react with some of the markets?
Well, the bonds, I just took a quick peek at the bonds, and they kind of tell me that maybe we've rallied enough in those for the moment, just as we maybe have rallied enough in the yen for the moment. She's probably going to say we're watching these, we're data dependent, we're watching these numbers very closely, but we have some concerns about some of the international things, Brexit being number one for her, but, like in oil markets, you got the Nigerians blew up 3 pipelines last week, so Nigeria's not trying to increase their oil exports, and the rebels keep blowing up these pipelines. They got problems. The Canadian oil sands, the fires have diminished somewhat, and they're going to start producing again. Rig count was up in this country, so that, but the rig count is only up 9. That's nothing. But we have so many DUCs, drilled and uncompleted wells, and those are the first things that get turned on, and they'll get turned on a whole lot faster than me having to drill a new well. So, there's changes about there, and what other country, like Libya, I think they've increased their oil. So, I mean, there are changes. There are changes going on.
Okay. That sounds pretty good. Listen, I want to thank you for being on, buddy, and we'll have you on in another. We'll have you on right after this next crop report. How's that?
That sounds great. By the way, I wouldn't be surprised to see sugar get up to 22.5 this year. I mean, that'd only be a halfway retracement on a monthly chart. It's not. Yes. It sounds like a lot from where we are, and it is, but not in the bigger picture.
All right, buddy. Listen, thanks a lot, Rich. We appreciate having you on, and we'll have you on again soon.
All right, everybody, trade well.
We will. Okay, that was Rich Anderson of Anderson Capital Management, and he's off to do his thing with his all of his followers and stuff. So anyway, we will take a look here at what's going on with the markets. It looks like we're getting ready to take out the highs of Friday, June 3rd by just a little bit here. The S&P, that's at 2106. Now, we could go running away from here, and, and if that's the case, this market could, possibly and very easily make a new high because we're not very far away. We're only 30 handles away in the S&P of making a new high. We had 2135 in that, way back in May, I believe, and now we have a potential to do that. I believe it'll be like what happened in October of 2007, where we made that slightly higher high, because it just there's just too many things that tell us that we are looking at a potential here for maybe what they would call a false breakout if this would occur. But like I posted the chart of the New York Stock Exchange Index when I started the show, it has a great deal of symmetry. And if the Dow is up more than 150 today, this symmetry would certainly be broken. That would mean the S&P would have to be up about 15, and all of this would be for naught, and it would be just another phase of what it's going to do. But that's the way it looks, right now. So that's neither here nor there, but we'll watch it. We still have a lot of strength in the grain markets, and they're acting still quite bullish. But we do have the new moon today, folks, and the new moon is one of the stronger cycles for the grains. That's one of the ones that was posted by the Babylonians and the Sumerians many, many years, thousands of years ago when they were planting wheat. So we'll take a little break here and be right back. 877-927-6648.
Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes, host of the Trader's Edge heard daily at TFNN.com and author of Mastering Probability, a daily investment and trading newsletter service that I send out each morning by 8 a.m. My morning newsletter service covers exactly what the markets have been doing since last night's close, providing you with an edge on your trading day ahead. You get actionable trading ideas, including the exact entry, stop, and profit targets. Plus, I'll teach you the patterns and hidden market correlations that will make you a better trader. As a subscriber, you'll gain access to my 90-minute money management workshop, where I'll teach you the secrets that'll save your assets. The bottom line, I've got your back, including a 30-day money-back guarantee. See for yourself the type of analysis I provide each trading day by signing up for Mastering Probability today. With nothing to lose, this is an offer you should not pass on. Mastering Probability can be found under Trading Newsletters on the front page of TFNN.com.
Tom O'Brien's weekly gold letter, The Gold Report, gives complete and concise coverage of the entire gold market. Inside, you'll get Tom's commentary on gold, the dollar, the rand, the bond, the XAU, the HUI, and detailed coverage of nearly 25 mining stocks. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock trade. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. With a lifetime of knowledge and almost 12 years of writing his informative weekly newsletter, The Gold Report, Tom O'Brien can provide you with the important market information to help you make better trades in the gold market. Don't let the next bull run in gold pass you by. To get a month-long free trial to The Gold Report, an $85 value, visit the front page of TFNN.com today.
Since 1984, Basil Chapman has been using the Chapman Wave methodology to advise traders of his expert market opinion. While originally hand-drawing charts from the late 1970s into the 1980s, Basil noticed that prices under most circumstances virtually always had a certain number of legs to the upside before declining sharply. Later, Basil found that computer software, which included the standard market technical indicators, enhanced the degree of accuracy in calling price turns, as well as market trend calls. Thus was born the Chapman Wave sequence. Using the Chapman Wave methodology along with other indicators, Basil Chapman advises his subscribers of his expert market opinion each market day with his opening call newsletter. Right now, you can get a 2-week free trial to the opening call, Basil's daily trading newsletter, by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Cancel at any time during that trial and pay absolutely nothing. Get your 2-week free trial to Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, today by visiting TFNN.com.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Okay, we're back, folks, and we're wrapping up the show here. We had Rich Anderson on today. Tomorrow we will have, oh dear, Bill Koval of WD Analytics on from Scottsdale, Arizona. On Wednesday, we're going to have Bill Meridian out of Cycles Research in Austria. So all of that will be that'll be good. Bill Koval, that's correct. tomorrow, and then Bill Meridian from Cycles Research in Austria, and he's got a really good handle on the oil market, so that'll give us a pretty good idea of what we're looking at in some of these things that we're looking. The currencies have all held up really well after the big move we had. That was such a really beautiful pattern down there in the euro when we had that 3 drive to a pattern last Wednesday and Thursday, and it had a tremendous move, and it still held most of it. So that's the thing. The key thing to watch today is watch stocks, because we've taken out the high from Friday. We haven't ran away to the upside yet, but we certainly could. But if it does reverse from here, then you have something to have an interesting spot to look at. And to reverse, you've got to get the S&P down below the 2100 level, around 2099. And then you would be able to say, yes, that looks like a reversal type pattern. You can put your stop at 2108 and let her rip. But you need it to move down, before you get to those levels. That's the key thing to look at. But remember, we have Janet Yellen today. I don't know exactly when she's going to be speaking, but remember, we have the Britain thing on June the 23rd. I don't think she wants to do anything to upset the apple cart with that, because they're hanging on to hopes that they're going to stay in the European Union. Whether that remains to be this case or not, we'll have to wait and see. But we want to watch it with a little bit of really strong interest, if nothing else. So that's what we're paying attention to today. And I think we're almost ready for the end of the show. It looks like I don't hear the music yet, but it should be close. Anyway, one thing I do want to mention to you is, remember, everything that I showed you on the pyramids and the watches, that was all for entertainment purposes. There's no hidden meaning that I know of that's in there. So that's it. Live every day in an attitude of gratitude, and may God bless.
If you're an active trader looking for that extra edge when it comes to trading and investments, then now is a great time to get a 2-week free trial to Tom O'Brien's daily market letter, Market Insights. Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights, comes out every market day at around 9:30 a.m. and provides Tom's daily commentary on the broad market, including the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P, plus specific trade recommendations. There's even an update published most afternoons to keep you informed about the day's market activity. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock and option trade. With Market Insights, there's nothing left to guessing. For all the details and to get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights started today, visit TFNN.com.